What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, guys? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Typing When Tipsy. Nicole is busy right now in the laboratory working on some fun stuff for you guys. So we're going back into the vault and picking out an episode from Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike. Hopefully it helps you guys out because the holiday season is upon us. So we try to tackle everything that is gift giving. We're all over social media. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Nicole's on Instagram and on Twitter at Typing When Tipsy. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Look at us on YouTube at youtube.com Mercado Airwaves Network or youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Check out our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Thank you guys so much. Nicole will be back soon with a new episode of Typing When Tipsy with Nicole Mancha. But until then, enjoy this episode from the vault of Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. What is going on? Welcome in to Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, as always joined by the lovely Nicole Mancha. Nicole, how's it going?
Great. How about you?
I am doing wonderful, and we have a very action-packed episode, if you will. It is a stocking stuffer, maybe. It is all about presents. We are in the midst of the holiday season. It is time you and I tackle a big conversation for anybody. Presents, giving them out, buying them, who do you buy them for, when do you buy them, and all that fun stuff in between. What do you want to get onto today about this, about the subject?
I think just kind of what you get and what the best kind of gifts are. Not just for your relationship, but family, friends, coworkers even, because I know a lot of people do like white elephant or, what is the other one that I can't.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
What's up, guys? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Typing When Tipsy. Nicole is busy right now in the laboratory working on some fun stuff for you guys. So we're going back into the vault and picking out an episode from Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike. Hopefully it helps you guys out because the holiday season is upon us. So we try to tackle everything that is gift giving. We're all over social media. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Nicole's on Instagram and on Twitter at Typing When Tipsy. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Look at us on YouTube at youtube.com Mercado Airwaves Network or youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Check out our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Thank you guys so much. Nicole will be back soon with a new episode of Typing When Tipsy with Nicole Mancha. But until then, enjoy this episode from the vault of Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. All right, Nicole, let's address the elephant in the room. Should there be a price cap in a relationship?
In a relationship, I think it's hard. I think that if you both come to the agreement on it, or if one of you's like, hey, like, I just think this year we should go a little smaller, because I mean, just with me, I have no sense of price. When I'm really excited to get someone something, I'm probably going to do it, like, regardless of the cost. I mean, and it's not even, like, about how much money it is. It's because I know that someone will enjoy it. Like, I love getting you big gifts. And I think the only, like, really small gift I probably got you was our first Christmas together.
Which was?
I got you the Darth Vader pancake maker, which I actually think was the one that you were the most excited for. And, like, you loved your other gifts, but that one was, like, so... I think because we were so fresh and so new, and so you didn't know if it was going to be something you liked, and it ended up being something...
Well, the fact that, you got a little something inside the niche that I like and whatnot. But, that was really cool. Now, I wonder if... how do you bring up talking about a price cap? Like, I'm like, obviously, the longer you've been in a relationship, or just in general with anybody, like the longer you've known your family, as older as you get, like, it's easier to say, hey guys, why don't this year we do this, or this year we do that? But like, how do you bring that up to somebody? If you don't feel comfortable enough to bring it up to somebody, should that be a trigger to say, like, maybe I shouldn't even be getting them a gift?
No, I don't think so, because I think some people are just really uncomfortable talking about money. I mean, money is such a touchy thing to talk about just in general. People argue about it. It's one of the biggest, oil and fire kind of mixes. Sure. Because once you get down that rabbit hole, you're kind of falling into, well, if that's too expensive, then why are we doing this? And why are we doing that? And it's like, well, they don't always feed into each other, but it's hard because gifts they're at the end of the day, most of the time, they're going to be really material.
Sure.
So it's, I think discussing if you want a cap, saying that the cap is something realistic. So it's Christmas and we're going on vacation, right? So saying like, hey, I think we should only spend a max of like $50 because we have presents we want to spend for other people and things like that. And that means you can do a lot of little presents or whatever. And it's not saying you can't go past the cap, but maybe not so far past that you feel guilty about it or the other person. Because that's the thing. A lot of times I think it's more so that the other person doesn't feel bad. Because there's a reason that you're bringing up a cap, right? Because you don't want anyone having to go so far outside of what they can afford.
Do you think, because I think it's fair to say that, you talk about it, and if it's something legit, like Christmas, after a certain age, like any type of holiday, any type of gift giving, like if you do put a cap, it should be an easy conversation. Like I know people don't like talking about money, but more specifically, like, hey, let's set some boundaries. Like, look at, this isn't a birthday, this isn't a special occasion, this isn't a wedding or like a birth or something like that. Like, we're gonna have another one next year, another one the year after that, so on and so forth. And then, like you said, depending on circumstances, but. Circling back a little bit, do you think then, like it's a little bit off the cap subject, is sentiments over value, over actually monetary value? Yeah. Like I wonder if it almost goes in tandem together. Like you can enjoy something with sentimental value unless you've been given stuff of value, like monetary value, and vice versa. So I can't appreciate the painting that you got me if you didn't buy me the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It's like, because you're like, oh my God, she went out of her way, or he went out of her way to give me something super expensive. And then at the same time, they took more effort to get what price-wise may be cheaper, but took stuff from the heart and was like an idea that they had brewing in their brain, opposed to just swiping the card or giving the cash to the cashier.
Yeah, I think there's a dual with the sentiment thing. Like last year, for example, when I got the PlayStation 4, there was a couple things. It was it was obviously like monetary value, so it was more expensive, but it's something I knew that you were going to say that you would buy yourself, and you were never going to buy yourself. Like, it's just, you don't have that in you to buy yourself something that expensive because you say that you will, and it's not going to happen because you're not that person. I'm that person where I'm like, if I see something that I really want, I will, I mean, granted, I'll save up for it. I think I'm pretty good about that. Like, I like to buy little things for myself, like a t-shirt here, or a pair of pants. But if I want something really big, like when we bought the artwork and stuff, like I'm fine with putting money away for that.
Right.
You don't have that same thing because you're like, but I could spend this on something else that would be so much more, like something for our house or something for us, or I can take us out to dinner one day. You're more of a broader range, and you won't be like, oh, well, I'll put $10, because then by the time you have like $250 to buy something, you're like, well, I could do something else with that, though. I could do vacation with that.
And
like, we could do other things like that.
Just a little side note on that, it's funny because I think any type of person that does that, it's one of those things where you're so much more willing to give somebody $5 20 times than somebody $300 one time. Yeah. Like, it's so weird, like that type of dynamic when it comes to, and I think that's my biggest fault, off subject, but radiotherapy, like, I think that's actually a very interesting thing, because I think it's really easy to spend $5 here, $10 here. It's just a cup of coffee, like, or it's a lunch. Like, it's really easy to spend that money, but like, that's why I think that this idea of the value and sentiment, like, there is a middle ground. There is room for both, where, when each one means more with the other one. Like, if all you got was sentimental gifts, well, eventually you're going to be like, you cheap bastard. Like, why don't you show me a little bit of love? And vice versa. It's like, hey, why don't you open up, something beside your wallet? Like, why don't you open up your heart? So I get it.
I think it's also, you can do sentiment with spending a reasonable amount of money, I think, and this is just my personal opinion. I know people who are like, oh, should I get this person something when I've been seeing them? I actually had a friend of mine from high school call me last year for Christmas, and he was dating this girl, and they had just started dating again. They had broken up for like 6 months or something, and they started dating again. And he was like, oh, well, Christmas is around the corner. I want to get her jewelry. And I was like, whoa. You guys just started seeing each other again. This is like a month in. I was like, it's too soon for that. Like, you get them something sweet, something that says you care, but you don't have to go all out. I'm like, first of all, it sets a really bad precedent.
For the rest of them?
For the rest of it. For everybody, just in general. And I'm not saying, like, I guess if you have the money, you can do that. I'm like, but no one I know is a millionaire. So, like, for me, like, I feel like jewelry is such a personal gift. That's why, like, we, when we have clients and stuff, I'm, sometimes the guys will be like, oh, let's get them a watch. I'm like, that's a personal gift because it's a personal style choice. And I feel the same thing with relationships. You can do things where you give somebody something they really enjoy and something very personal. Our first Christmas, you gave me those notebooks, which I still have. But those to me are personal. I can use them, and I have them, and I get to keep them with me.
They were expensive, guys. They weren't $1 notebooks that you get at Staples, okay?
No, but you know what I'm saying? But but you weren't going to get me a necklace with a heart. You know what I'm saying? That was our anniversary gift. It's different things, different strokes for different folks kind of thing. You want to make sure that you touch all those little things. You can do that. You don't have to get a super expensive piece of jewelry. There are really beautiful earrings that are $50. They're still beautiful. They still have meaning. And there's something I can have and wear every single day, if that makes sense. Like, that kind of, that's what I usually think of with sentimental. You want to do something that people can have and hold and really cherish and use.
So, as a guy, do I, when you're trying to find that type of gift where they can cherish and they can love, or you're just trying to get them something that you think they will enjoy, whether you're a guy or a gal, should you just be open about it and be like, hey, I was thinking about getting you some clothes. What do you want? What would you like for me to give me a bunch of stuff I could get for you, and then I'll pick some stuff in between it? Or do you just go in a surprise? Because I think one of the most terrifying things is buying women clothes. And it's not, and it has nothing to do with the old movie, guys don't like shopping for women. It's more, clothes fit so differently for dudes.
Yeah.
Just, but from store to store, let alone for women. Like, I don't know if that's something that,
So I wouldn't necessarily buy clothes for a woman, unless you know her really well. I mean, some people are very into that. Like, I don't know if you've seen that thing that goes around the internet where the guy asks his girlfriend out and he like leaves her clothes to wear and things. Like, that's very sweet, but
that's stupid.
It's sweet. It really okay. It's sweet.
So stupid.
But...
I hate millennials. Continue.
But the thing is, it's the thought that mattered. Like, that was a lot of thought you put into it. Like, he like gets like
he
that
just picked up the slutiest outfits and was trying to get laid.
No, but anyways, but I think it's a very sweet gesture and something that you can do. But I think that's going down a really strange kind of path, because what if it's not exactly what she wants? What if it doesn't fit right? Like, as a woman, like I know what size I am, but that doesn't mean that everything in my size is going to fit that same way.
Right.
So I feel like it's more stressful. I would rather it be where you're like, hey, I want to do something really nice for you. And I know that you've been really wanting to like go to Victoria's Secret and get new, because I get all of my workout clothes there. Being like, hey, babe, you know what? I know that that's what you really want for Christmas. So how about this? How about we go together and we can do a shopping trip together?
That sounds horrible.
But it's like a nice, but it's the effort. You're spoiled, okay? I don't make you do any of that stuff with me. Ever.
I'm a good person. I shouldn't be tortured.
No, you went with me 1 year and I'll never take you back again. And that's because you
there were no other kids to play with.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it was. He like, I swear to God, listeners, I'm telling you, like, he was the worst. He was like, you can't go by yourself. Mind you, I've been going Black Friday shopping by myself for the past like 5 years. Like, you shouldn't go by yourself. It's busy and it could be dangerous. And obviously it's back when he like cared and was like
long time ago.
But he
long time ago.
I think we were there for 45 minutes before the like full-on complaining really started, and I wanted to murder him. Like, okay, I'm never doing this with you again, because this is just a bad decision on my part.
43 minutes worth of quiet, more than you thought you were gonna get.
That's true, but it was.
So, is it ever appropriate to give cash
in a relationship? No.
Thank you for taking a sip of drink. Our listeners just love that, don't they?
Sorry, I thought you were going to talk a little bit longer. To be honest with you, I'm usually really like, I'm very caring.
Yes. Is cash appropriate, Nicole? Answer the question.
No, I don't think so.
So never.
No, I think it's, if you're giving it to like a family member or a sibling, that can be fine. For me, my parents do cash usually for the older kids. Like once you hit 16 and up.
Sure.
Because my mom's like, if you want to pay an electric bill, like, I get that.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, for sure. Like, as much as I would love to open gifts and stuff, it's like, man, it's nice not to have to worry about that kind of stuff.
I think having a balance is kind of nice too, right? Like having let's just say $100, if you're lucky enough. Mind you, this is all completely, trust me, we all understand what this episode is. Like, it's all monetary, it's all gifts, it's you should enjoy the gift of each other, man, and all that. I get it, like, I really do get it. But let's say in these scenarios where you are getting gifts from other people, and you're fortunate enough to, and lucky enough, blessed enough, whatever you want to use, to have like present filled, love filled holidays. Okay, I think it's awesome if you're able to get some money from one side, and then like some necessities from the other side, especially when you're older. So like, there's nothing better than, for me, when I can't even tell you the age it was, but like now where it's like my parents would go out of their way and give me like, here's $150 and here's some underwear.
Yeah.
And it's like, that goes so far, and it's such a compliment to everything else. And I think that's the importance. Like, I've learned the difference between the presents and just like what the holidays are meant to be. It's like, there needs to be some special, some sentimental, some value.
Yeah.
And also some, hey, let me help you out a little bit with this. Like, don't worry about having to go to Walmart and pick up some underwear this week.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, that's huge.
Speaking of, my mom was asking about what kind of socks you want again this year, because she, like, my mom gets us like 20 pairs of socks each, which by the time Christmas rolls around again,
it's like,
somehow we've gone through them all.
It's unbelievable.
That's a good point. There needs to be a good balance of things. I think that it depends. Your family gifts kind of are a little bit more, I don't want to say important, but important.
Well, intimate.
Yeah, they're intimate. Like, they're more things that you would hope that your family members know what you like and would get you. Because, I mean, I've gotten some gifts from family members that are just freaking horrible. And I'm like, and it's, you don't want to complain, but you're like, in what universe have you ever seen me wear this? Like, you've known me since I was born, and you got me a bright pink lace tank top, and I'm not making this up. That was an actual gift I got when I was 22.
You liked it. Shut up.
No, it was like a bubblegum pink. It was really bad. Like, and the thing is I just kind of looked at it and I said thank you, and I would never like say, you know, and I ended up.
Of course, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a free
right.
gift, yeah.
And I'm like, and it was, you know, I was like, this is probably like $6, which is fine. Like, it's not the monetary thing. It's just like, if you would have gotten me the same thing in black, I would have worn it.
Sure.
Like, guaranteed would have worn it. But like, when in the universe has any of you, like, I didn't start wearing pink until probably like 2 years ago. So it's you, but it's something that it's like you expect a little bit more from your family, just like general taste wise. If you know what I mean, like
sure, no, I get it, but I also think sometimes we get caught up in our own little stuff that we think people really know everything. Like other than your hobbies, it's like I think sometimes people don't put together. It's like, oh, your favorite color is green, huh? It's like sometimes I think people like I think we get up in our own world that we think other people know our own world, and vice versa. So like. Yeah, you're right. Like, knowing you as long as I've known you, yeah, it makes no sense to buy you pink. But, like, same token, it's like, oh, Nicole would look nice in this.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. But like I said, it's one of those things where I feel like if you've known me and we've been family members for this many
I'm
years,
not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying.
Right.
You know.
But, yeah, so I expect more. I actually hate when my friends get me gifts because I'm so bad at like it's one of those things that I've actually listened to a couple other podcasts and people were talking about. They're like, well, you know, when our friends had kids, like everyone only gets the kids gift, and I'm like, well, yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm not buying something for your kid as well as you guys. Like that gets like crazy after a while. And you know, just a little about me, like I have 6 nieces and nephews and 2 godchildren. Like I don't. We are already adding to that number then by doing that, and like I would rather get the kids something. The kids are the ones who really enjoy it. They're the ones who get to they still get excited,
right? You
know. So for my friends, I'm like, you know what, a bottle of wine goes a long way. Like
yeah, I mean, buying their kids something should go a long way, and just like when you have kids or when anybody has kids or just anything in general, just like again. The enjoyment of like, all right, you're taking some load off of me, or in some parents' cases, you're adding more toys. You're adding the load to me. I understand it. I think it really can be used as a. I think I look at the holidays, Christmas specifically, not so much more about monetary. Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, like the sales that you could only get in Christmas and things you can only get in Christmas time at the stores, you get 365, 24/7. Like those days are gone. So with me at this point, it's just looking out for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you know what? Like, what do you get the person that has everything? A nice bottle of wine.
Right.
Seriously, like, what do you get? What do you get?
No,
the
for
people that have
for sure. And that's the thing. I think that's why it's funny because I'm like I feel like we're very lucky to be around people who I feel like are truly blessed in their lives, and you know, you just want to be around those people in general because I think it's a really good vibe to have. So it's like. It's more stressful to me to be like, oh my God, what do they need? What do they want? You know what I mean? When I can be like, you know what? I just want to get you something that you guys can enjoy on a night where maybe the kids are already down or you guys get a night to yourselves and things like that. Like that to me is, you know, kind of where I go with it.
How long do you, okay, so here's one that I thought in my, I thought in my head a while back. Once your partner's family starts getting you presents, is that an indication of A, they expect you to stick around, and B, you should start getting them gifts? Or like, is there something to that when the significant other's family starts getting you gifts?
I think it's really hard to gauge that.
Like whether they're doing it just to be polite or if it's actually.
Some people I think just really enjoy gift giving.
Interesting.
I think your family is one of those families. They really like to give gifts because they really like to see the excitement on someone's face when they get something and when they know that they hit it. Our first Christmas together, your parent, like everyone got me something.
Yeah, but we were already dating for a little while.
We were only dating for 2.5 months.
Yeah, that's enough time.
I feel like that's like very little time because normally I feel like.
I don't know. What do I know? I don't know.
Well, normally I feel like as an adult, like our situation was a little bit different, but like normally I feel like as an adult, you typically don't meet someone's family that soon, but because of like just how everything kind of happened, I was at your house all the time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, because I was living with my parents, and so I was like, well, I can go to your house, but you can't come stay at my house. So I kind of had to meet everybody in an accelerated fashion. Because by the time I met everybody, it was Thanksgiving. Think about it. A month later was Christmas, and your grandma got me something, your aunt got me something. Like everybody got something for me. I honestly assume that parents will tend to get something for you, and I don't know if that means you need to get something very big, but maybe get something really nice for them that they can have for the house. I think house gifts are always a good thing to go to. Like we got your mom those peacock photos because she really liked the canvas because she loves that kind of stuff, and like that worked out well for us. And she, like, your mom's also very specific, which helps.
Yeah, true that.
Seriously, like, she's very specific, which helps. But I think that, I don't know, I think it's hard to gauge whether you should get something. I think they do expect you to stick around. But here's the other thing. I also think that it depends on the person, because I think that if it was someone who brought a new girlfriend every single holiday, they probably wouldn't.
Sure, because they know.
Right.
They end up getting in hats and gloves.
Right.
Scarf.
Right.
Yeah.
Like something really basic and really simple. I think with you, because you didn't bring every single girl around all the time, it was like, they're like, oh, like you're meeting the entire family. Like this is serious. We're going in that direction. So maybe you put a little bit more effort.
No, it's an interesting point.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How are
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
What's up, guys? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Typing When Tipsy. Nicole is busy right now in the laboratory working on some fun stuff for you guys. So we're going back into the vaults and picking out an episode from Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike. Hopefully it helps you guys out because the holiday season is upon us. So we try to tackle everything that is gift giving. We're all over social media. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Nicole's on Instagram and on Twitter at Typing When Tipsy. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Look at us on YouTube at youtube.com Mercado Airwaves Network or youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Check out our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Thank you guys so much. Nicole will be back soon with a new episode of Typing When Tipsy with Nicole Mancha. But until then, enjoy this episode from the vaults of Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Do you think then that every holiday or every gift is appropriate for every time? So for example, like not just timing, but let's say you get a girl a certain gift. Would you get it? Is it appropriate? Is every gift appropriate for birthdays, Christmas, and like anniversary? Like, can you give somebody something you would get them for their anniversary on a Christmas or on a birthday? Is there more meaning if you get somebody something on a certain day?
I think it's going to depend for every person. Some people really take holidays seriously. I'm not one of those people. I think anniversaries are really big because you're celebrating the time that you guys became together.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you're celebrating your lives together, where you're going, your future, your past, and the present. So I think that kind of holds more meaning. So I think that people expect bigger gifts around those times. Birthdays, I think, are important next because I'm a really big birthday person. You're not, I'm a huge birthday person. I love birthdays. So for me, they're very like, yeah, I want you to take the appreciation of like, this is the day I was born. This is the day I want to celebrate me. And like, we're going to do something that revolves around me.
No, it's so true. And you've always been like a birthday person. I think there is appropriate things for certain days. Like, for anniversary, it should definitely be more intimate.
Yeah.
And like there is levels, but like intimate in the sense of like not just from goof gifts or like sexy gifts, but just anything that you feel like people don't understand, or it was one of those things that you've worked really hard in. I think anniversaries are a great time to take advantage of that. I think Christmas is a great time for monetary things, but also for more of sentiment, because like the idea lasts longer. It's Christmas time, it's the holidays, it just the memory is cherished a certain way. I think birthdays are more like you said. It is the individual day. It is all about you in that sense. So it's like if you're gonna get somebody that cell phone that they've wanted, that iPhone, you get it for them on their birthday. Because like that's more of a like, all right, I got you. This is your day type of thing. But I mean, I think there's so many different ways to at least go at it when it comes to
and I think that
them.
there are certain things that you can do that maybe monetary wise without actually a physical gift, like on their birthday. Like if you know that she really wants to go to Hamilton, or she really wants to go, like they have those, what are they? The outdoor like cubes now by Millennium Park where you can have like those wine and cheese night, those things. Like those things are going to be pricier, but there's something that you're going to cherish because it doesn't happen all the time. So it's something that you can take advantage of in that moment. And I think those are really cool things to keep in mind during the holiday seasons and during your birthday season, because there's something it's just something that you can do with each other. The one thing I will say is if you decide to go that route and you want to do something like, oh, let's go to a vineyard or whatever it may be. My biggest pet peeve when I go to those places, like it's different if you're going to like Buffalo Wild Wings, but my biggest pet peeve is when I see people on their phones. That time is for you to spend time together, and if you're about to blow $200 a person, you should try and spend it together. Like, don't waste your money then, because you could go to another restaurant and not pay attention to each other.
You should go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I went to
shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, right. I was on a school trip in the Bahamas, and there was a really cute restaurant, and a bunch of the girls and I decided to go, and this couple was there. And the guy fell asleep. Like, literally head back, like...
Well, how do you know she wasn't boring?
And she's looking at him, and I'm like, oh my God, we're about to witness a murder, guys. Like, that's what's going to happen. But it's like, don't take...
Maybe she killed them with boredom.
But I'm like, don't... You know what I mean? It's things like...
No, I get it.
It's... Yeah. Do your part as well.
Enjoy, live in the moment.
Yeah, live in the moment, enjoy it as well. If you're not into it, then don't do it. Like, you're better off just going somewhere else. Well, ordering out, takeout works too, guys.
It's so true.
I mean, for our anniversary this year, like on the actual day, we ended up ordering Chinese food and watching Mindhunters, and that was the best way I could have imagined like spending it, because we got to spend time together.
Yeah, but that was recovering from a long Halloween party.
It was,
to be fair.
But like the thing is, but that's something that I enjoy. Like I love takeout. Like,
oh no, I enjoyed
that.
it too. But like that was more necessity than it was planned. We're like, we're not going anywhere. Nick, let's wrap up shop. It was an interesting episode. I really learned a lot, and I really just before we head out and we close up. Any last tips though for anybody listening to this, and when it comes to your expertise that you've done? Okay, really fast. I worked before I got into radio. I was always into retail, and I've worked Black Fridays. I've worked the Christmases. I've worked the holiday shifts. One, be nice to the employees. Everybody, please, when you're shopping,
yes.
They don't have control of inventory. They're not hiding stuff in the back, and all they want for you is to get the hell out of their stores. So be nice. Also, like we've been saying, it's nice to get really nice value things, monetary things, but also just enjoy the little stuff. Enjoy the fact that if somebody just shoots you a text message saying Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, be appreciative because somebody took time out of their day to do it.
Absolutely.
But any last tips?
I think that if you are doing stuff with your friends, alcohol goes a really long way. People like Pinterest it, because I'm telling you, there are the coolest things that are on there. I got one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten, and it was like an alcohol type gift, but they put a little extra love in there and a little extra work. And I think that like seeing those little touches and those personal touches goes a really long way no matter what. I think if money's really tight, because it's the holidays, so it does get really tight, do something more sentimental. If you know somebody really well, the kind of things that you can get them. Get a card, write out the card yourself. Don't just sign your name. Those kind of things goes a really long way, I think, to people, because they see that you've put that extra effort into doing it. And don't forget your parents, because they gave birth to you, so they deserve something.
Yeah. And shout out quickly to Nicole, who does this a lot. If we're in the given spirit, and like we should be doing this 365. But it's getting cold out there for anybody listening to us in the Midwest and in the East Coast. And of course, we're about to head to the West Coast, but especially out here, find some old coats, find some old hats, find some old gloves, scarves, and donate them to homeless shelters, to those boxes they have at Jewel's, which is a local grocery store over here in Illinois. Just do anything like that. Like, again, that stuff, you go to the dollar store, you $5, $10, and you've helped a bunch of people. And again, it's really nice. You feel good whenever you're donating. So if you feel like your money isn't going certain places, or you don't trust charities, trust yourself, trust, in humanity, as crazy as it may be nowadays.
I always think it's good to have an extra pair of like gloves or a hat with you. I mean, we're in, Chicagoland area, so I work downtown a lot, and having those extra pair of gloves and being able to give it to somebody who needs it, it's such a warm feeling. And I think that it's something anyone can do, because gloves cost like $1, just to do something for somebody else, especially during this holiday season. Like, we're so blessed and we're so lucky for what we have.
Many of us are, yes.
Many of us are. And I think that we always need to try and give back where we can.
What's up, guys? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Typing When Tipsy. Nicole is busy right now in the laboratory working on some fun stuff for you guys. So we're going back into the vault and picking out an episode from Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike. Hopefully it helps you guys out, because the holiday season is upon us, so we try to tackle everything that is gift giving. We're all over social media. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Nicole's on Instagram and on Twitter at Typing When Tipsy. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Look at us on YouTube at youtube.com Mercado Airwaves Network, or youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. Check out our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Thank you guys so much. Nicole will be back soon with a new episode of Typing with Tipsy with Nicole Mancha. But until then, enjoy this episode from the vault of Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on.
Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.